Some MPs write blogs, and one of my local former MPs in Reading, a Labour MP, writes a very readable, controversial blog.
Martin Salter.
No, the other one.
Oh, right.
So I wonder what your view on blogs is. And I just want to mention I came in from Reading on a free bus pass today.
Well, do you know, for the first time I can use the Oxford buses free. It says, you know, it's gone national. No, the blog is one form of communication, but you see, I think an MP ought to talk to his or her local party in detail. And you know, on one occasion, I don't think anybody else ever did it, about the time of the IMF, I went to my local GC in Bristol and I said, should I resign from the government? And they had a discussion, and in the end they said, stay in and fight your corner, and if you're sacked, we'll support you. Because I felt under such pressure to go along with something I didn't agree with, I said, you'll have to decide. And I would have accepted their decision. So the collectivization of discussion is part of democracy. I don't think unanimity is a sign of strength, actually. But that's, I mean, obviously you have to defend the party. But rows in the Labour Party were family rows. You could have a flaming row and then have a drink with Dennis Healy or whoever it was afterwards. And although Jim and I didn't agree about everything, when my wife was dying, he sent me a little message saying, I'm thinking of you and your carer. And I rang him up and said, Jim, we have had some marginal differences of emphasis. And he said, are you joking? Because we had great disagreements. And I think the Labour family is never understood. And in families, you can have quite fierce arguments.
I'm in sort of jury out mode on blogs. I think they sound great. And I mean, I did a blog for the Labour Party. Bizarrely, they asked me to do because they knew I was at the Football World Cup in Germany, they asked me to do a blog. The only time I actually got any real kind of buy-in and read across was when the BBC website picked it up, and then it would sort of drive traffic to it. And the other thing I worry about is that, and we were talking earlier about the whole issue of media regulation, press regulation, the uselessness of the Press Complaints Commission, and so forth. And I mean, how you even begin to think about having some sort of oversight for the blogosphere and what is said upon it and which bits of it matter and which bits don't. I mean, it's a pretty tricky world, I think. And I mean, I very occasionally go and look at some of the stuff that's kind of floating around the internet, and some of it, frankly, is just, you know, go and Google the McCanns, and then just look at some of the stuff that's flying around about them. It's kind of sick. And I think what it is, it's becoming, obviously there's great stuff, some wonderful stuff that's written by people who do blogs, but I think there's an awful lot of stuff on there that is just even worse than what you get in newspapers and on the television and the radio. So I'm not convinced.